Hey guys, welcome back and happy Friday. All right, guys. Well, we have a new episode of Hot Messy Podcast that dropped today with Sophia Copo, who's one of the Copo sisters and has an incredible new reality show called The Copo Sisters on TLC. Now, on top of that, Jason and I are going up to the courthouse. I think it's the courthouse. I actually don't even know what it is, but we're going to get our marriage license. We're not getting married yet, but we're going to get the license, which is a huge step. So, surprise, yay! I'm actually really excited. And we have our first ever team meeting with our new team member. We're going into 2023 with we're doing the damn thing. And I'm so excited. By the way, I see where a couple people, I've received like 6 or 7 DMs this morning, and people are telling me that there are other people who are just like slamming Jason and I. I don't need that. I don't need the information. I don't need the DM. You don't have to tell me. It doesn't do anything for my life. It's not positive. I'm living in a positive bubble. I'm like Teresa Giudice right now in my love bubble, and I could honestly care less. But thank you for looking out. However, you don't have to. As we continue to grow, there will be people who will continue to hate, and that's just that. Now, with that, Bethenny Frankel is feeling ambushed. Well, she's technically not, but her team and her daughter did after her hostile Watch What Happens Live appearance. And I'm not shocked. If you watched it, it was cringy and it was really putting her on the spot. And I felt the same thing for Teresa Giudice when she was appearing on the show. I think that they were on a roll, but we're going to get into that. Before we do, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Now, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys. So Bethenny Frankel was on Watch What Happens Live. Now, what people don't know is that she was on Watch What Happens Live, and they did sort of a double show in the same night. She was on the same night that Teresa Giudice was, and they just filmed both back to back. Why they do this sometimes is to give the host a break, because there might be something else that's coming up that they need to do. For example, Jason and I went to Ellen DeGeneres' live taping of her show. And one of our good friends, Claudia, was a producer of her show. So we went to the show, and all of a sudden, Ellen said, "Okay, guys, sorry, this is an extra long show. Everybody stay here. We'll be right back." And then she went and changed really quick, and they changed the set right away. And we were still the same live audience. But then she was like, "Who's ready for 12 Days of Christmas?" But it was because she needed her Friday off, right? So this is something that they do. And if you saw the way that Andy Cohen was with Teresa Giudice, a lot of people felt like Teresa was brought on so they could simply make fun of her. So I think that maybe it was just an interesting night for Andy Cohen. But after Jeff Lewis and Andy, there were a lot of shots taken at this being Bethenny. Andy also called her out for trashing the Real Housewives of New York before she decided to make a podcast about it. He then alluded to her previous quotes about the franchise, including her claim that it's toxic. And at one point, Jeff suggested that the recap podcast was unoriginal. But Jeff also insinuated that she was flat out lying for the reason that she unfollowed Kyle Richards. But I think that this is like, who cares? Really, who cares? And in December 7th tweet, Bethenny responded to a fan who asked if she felt like she was ambushed after the Watch What Happens Live appearance. And she claimed that she didn't, but she revealed that her daughter and her team indeed did feel that way. But she was getting it from all angles. I think Andy Cohen completely knew that Bethenny Frankel, she comes in, she stays ready, she's prepped, she's ready to go, and she's not the one, and she will take on anyone, which is one of the things that we love the most about Bethenny Frankel. However, if you're going to take a shot at this bee, you better not miss. And I also think that it was very strategic planning to put Jeff Lewis on the same show, because it's two people. I mean, they're two people who will not back down. It's not like you're putting somebody who's like promoting like a random book and like, oh, okay, this Bravo super fan who's just going to look at Bethenny and be like, "Oh my God, everything you say is so amazing. And I just love you, Bethenny." Jeff was like, "I can pick your buttons. I can make you a little annoyed. Let's play a game." But that's what he's good at. That's why Jeff makes great TV. That's why Bethenny makes great TV. The skinny girl business mogul also took to Instagram to comment on the tapings. She first alluded to the craziness of Watch What Happens Live, which she's used to. And she said, "I thought it was reality as usual. My daughter and team thought it was a little hot and hostile." She then shared that her daughter and team's belief that a decent dose of shade was thrown at her, particularly regarding her podcast. She expressed with 3 pairs of eye emojis. But he's calling it unoriginal. Another Housewives recap podcast. Wow. I think that it actually is original, though, because like she's saying, I'm giving you behind the scenes conversations with producers, looking at things through a different lens. Like she said, I even talked about Kelly Ben Simone at Scary Island, and I didn't bash her. I just used it as maybe this is what she was going through. Maybe this is what she was thinking at that point. So she's trying to give a totally different perspective, which is something that I love about the idea of her Rewives podcast. But on top of that, we have Tamra and Teddy, who also have 2 T's in a pod. And that's why their podcast is so wildly successful, because they're doing it. And while they're doing it, it's like a take from an ex-housewife, except Tamra is no longer an ex-housewife. Like, it's us listening to someone who knows it better than we can as viewers. We're not sitting there. We don't know. We don't have the producers walking up to us saying like, okay, guys, well, you're not leaving this dinner table until somebody does something. That's why we always get those stupid, let's play a game. Who wants to play a game? And they're like, oh God, Renna. But at least she understands the assignment in that regard. And that way everybody gets to go home. Many fans wondered if Bethenny was lying about the Kyle story when Jeff seemed to call her bluff. Call Kyle up and ask, Bethenny said. We text all the time. Great, I can text her right now, he responded. She said, I'll text her too. And then Jeff said, I'll text her and find out the real story since you're not being honest. Ooh. And one thing that you could, there's always a good way to piss somebody off. Let me just tell you really quick. One is call them by the wrong name, forget their name. Like, hey, Josh, my name's Jeff. Sorry, Jerry. Jeff. Like, that's the rudest thing you can do, and it will piss them off. The next thing that you can do that will piss somebody off is just calling them out or calling a spade a spade. For example, she's like, why are you so angry? Nobody wants to hear that. I'm not angry. What are you talking about? I'm not angry. And then all of a sudden you're like, like anxious, and you are sort of dismissive, and it's like, I'm not angry, but you're coming off a little angry, bro. I don't know. Later, Bethenny confirmed that she had just gotten off the phone with Jeff, and she shared that he did in fact apologize to her, and she called him a class act for doing so, which that's one of the things that I love about Bethenny and Jeff is like, even though you get some of these really harsh moments, like sometimes really, really intense, they still have the ability to have conflict and resolution. And Jeff's new show on Freebie was so much better than Flipping Out, because Flipping Out, he would get sometimes really upset. He would rip somebody's head off, and it was just like really uncomfortable, as opposed to his new Freebie show, which showcased him in a positive light with his team. And it was so much more, in my opinion, entertaining to watch, because you weren't cringing like, oh God, here's the moment that's about to come from Jeff. And then you were understanding that he was going through the process of trying to have another child. So I thought that that was good, but I don't want to just give you this information and not ask your opinion. So go ahead and comment below. But before you go, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And also do not forget to head over to Hot Messy Podcast, anywhere you get your podcast. Give our new episode a listen, leave it a review, a rating, whatever they do. It's Sophia Colpo, and we're talking about the Harry and Meghan documentary. Also, Jason is working on it right now, but we're going to be putting up the video version as well over on Hot Messy Podcast on YouTube. We're getting our marriage license. We're having team meetings. We're getting into the holidays. Guys, this is a great, happy Friday. I feel so good. Maybe it's the coffee. And Jason always says, like, there's morning Adam that's like, hi. And then there's afternoon Adam that's like, hey. And then there's night Adam that's like, let's play a game. But not today. Just super happy. All right. Bye, guys. Love you.